Let's have another look at that.
Tommy's into a foot. That's so unlucky.
Yeah, sort of hit the hole and the flag at the same time.
A leaked video of Keegan Bradley and Scottie Scheffler has erupted across social media, sending the golf world into total chaos. A moment that should have stayed hidden inside the US team room is now fueling one of the sport's wildest scandals. And this clip isn't just a peek behind the curtain, it exposes the kind of pressure and conflict golf has tried to keep quiet for years. I've dug deep into what really went down, and trust me, the truth is far messier than anyone expected. So let's get into it. The moment that leaked clip made it online, fans everywhere started freaking out, and golf suddenly found itself in the middle of a massive scandal. Within hours, X was packed with reactions, memes, and trending hashtags taking aim at both Bradley and Scheffler. Golf hasn't seen an online nightmare like this since the Patrick Reed family drama. But this time, it wasn't just background noise, it became the entire story.
Keegan Bradley just lost out on his decade-long Ryder Cup dream, but he might have gained something even better in the process. So the US Ryder Cup roster is out, and the biggest snub from the team is the captain, Keegan Bradley, who left himself off the roster even after a strong 2025 season.
What made it even more surprising is how calm the video looks at first. Bradley is sitting in a dark room, his polo wrinkled, expression tired and serious. He leans forward a little, his voice shaky, saying Scottie carried the weight of the world out there. It sounded like he was trying to lift Scottie up, but to a lot of people, it felt more like he was trying to defend himself, and the internet split instantly. Some people praised Bradley for backing his teammate during a disaster. Others said he was just trying to look like the hero after making a terrible decision. One comment that blew up said, "He's not protecting Scottie at all. He's protecting himself." Then the conspiracy theories poured in. A few users insisted the footage came from an official team recording, leaked from the inside. Others said a teammate filmed it secretly on their phone. One random Reddit user even suggested Europe was behind it. At that point, no one cared what the truth was. All anyone cared about was the drama. As sports reporters slowed down and studied every second of the clip.
At the end of the day, it's like, I'm not out here to inspire the next generation of golfers. I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? You know, this is not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of like the deepest.
Golf suddenly didn't look polished anymore. The sport that's known for rules, respect, and silence now looked emotional and messy, like something you'd expect on a reality show instead of the biggest golf stage in the world. European players couldn't resist stirring the pot either. Rory McIlroy and Ian Poulter dropped mysterious comments hinting that real honesty only comes out in defeat. Translation: they enjoyed watching the chaos unfold. By the end of the day, the clip was everywhere. TikTok edits, fan-made remixes, meme pages, the line "Scottie carried the weight of the world" became the internet's new favorite joke. This wasn't just a controversy anymore. It felt like a full-on wake-up call for the sport. Bethpage Black was supposed to be where the US took back control. A home course advantage, loud fans, and a setup built for power. Instead, it quickly turned into the place where the team's confidence fell apart. The crowd showed up ready to scream and celebrate. By the end, they were quietly asking each other how everything went so wrong. The trouble started right away.
This guy, Scottie Scheffler, is very popular and very successful. And then you win and you're like, yay! He really talked about how winning's great, but it's really not that great. Like, you make such sacrifice.
Scottie Scheffler, the world #1 who rarely cracks, teamed up with Russell Henley in what was expected to be a winning pair. But the Europeans had other ideas. Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood took them apart shot by shot. Every time Scottie missed the fairway, the energy in the air dropped. Cheers got softer. Fans who came in loud suddenly weren't so sure anymore. Bradley tried to stay positive. After the round, he told reporters, "Scottie's our anchor. He wants this more than anything." His smile made it sound like he believed it, but his eyes didn't, and things only got worse from there. Another match, another loss. Even with Colin Morikawa by his side, Scottie couldn't turn it around. Then came the comment that's now famous because of the leaked video. Bradley admitted, "We set up the course to help us, and we helped them instead." Fans picked up on that immediately. The US had softened the greens to boost their strengths, but the change actually gave Europe a bigger advantage. It wasn't just a bad call, it felt like they had beaten themselves.
He was in tears talking about your leadership and the bond of brothers on Team USA. What kind of praise does that mean to you when you're hearing that from the best player in the world?
It means a lot to me. Really enjoyed doing this.
By the end of day 2, Europe led 5-3, but the real story wasn't the numbers. You could see the weight on Scottie's face. He looked drained, frustrated, and nothing like the unshakable star people expected. His shoulders dropped lower with every hole. It was like he wasn't just fighting the match, but fighting the pressure of having to be perfect. Social media jumped on it. Memes comparing Scottie in Ryder Cup form to his usual superstar self spread everywhere. Golf found its storyline, and this time, the hero and the heartbreak were the same person wearing red, white, and blue. Keegan Bradley's time as captain wasn't supposed to look like this. Shaky hands, red eyes, and TikTok edits set to sad music weren't part of the plan. But that's exactly what the leaked video showed. A leader who once appeared confident now looked like someone trying to hold everything together before it completely fell apart.
I'm going to tell you a story about what someone said about Scottie Scheffler today on our team, Russell Henley. Scottie had the weight of the world on his shoulders as #1 player in the world. And Scottie cared more about how Russell was doing than himself.
The clip showed a moment of raw honesty. Bradley talked about a conversation he had with Russell Henley, saying Scottie was more worried about me than himself. That line spread fast across social media and felt like a confession. Fans wanted to see it as proof that Bradley was protecting his players, but the analyst didn't agree. One commentator called it out. He's not defending Scottie, he's defending his decisions. Press conferences from that week looked different in hindsight. Bradley kept praising Europe, dodging questions about the US strategy, and repeating lines like, "We gave it everything, but the fatigue showed." Nothing felt rehearsed anymore. It came across like someone trying to save something that was already gone. There's one moment from the leaked footage that has become the image of the entire collapse.
The decision was made a while ago that I wasn't playing. The last 48 hours, we had the team set. We weren't scrambling at all. This was a really tough decision. I would say there was a point this year where I was playing a while ago, and all these guys.
Bradley sits back, lets out a breath, and says quietly, "Sometimes the pressure just eats you alive." That wasn't a line meant for cameras or viewers, but now, it's the quote everyone remembers. Hours after the clip leaked, the internet turned it into non-stop memes. One of the biggest jokes said, "Me trying to be productive for 10 minutes." But beneath all the humor was something real. Bradley wasn't angry, he wasn't blaming anyone. He spoke like a captain still trying to make sense of how everything came apart. And he pointed out that Scottie kept showing up for the team, even when everyone thought he was finished. It was emotional, it was messy, and everyone online was glued to it. And that's when things truly fell apart. By day 2, the Ryder Cup didn't look like a competition anymore. It looked like a breakdown happening in front of the world. The pressure was obvious. Every shot felt heavier. Scottie Scheffler, the dominant player all season, suddenly looked exhausted and unsure. He and Russell Henley faced John Ram and Tyrrell Hatton, two guys who feed off chaos. Every Ram bomb hit harder. Every Hatton putt chipped away the confidence. Meanwhile, Scottie's frustration showed clearly. His shoulders dropped each time something went wrong. He kept looking up like he was hoping for just one break to finally go his way. At the same time, Bradley kept changing pairings, trying anything to stop the collapse. He told reporters, "The guys really fought today, but the fake smile didn't match the moment." In the leaked footage, his voice cracked while saying the same thing privately, like he was trying to hold a sinking team together. "They gave everything," he whispered. "Everything just wasn't enough." Then came the moment that summed up the entire disaster. Scottie hit nearly the perfect approach on the 10th, but the ball kissed the edge and rolled away. That one tiny miss showed the whole story. Always close, never enough. Commentators ran the replay over and over, calling it the moment Team USA lost hope. Online reactions hit Scottie even harder than the score. TikToks showed every missed putt played over sad pop songs. Twitter roasted him with memes like, "Scheffler under pressure 2019-2025, gone too soon."
In retrospect, is there anything you might have done differently?
Yeah, the course, I think I would have set the course up a little different. But I don't know, they played better than us. They deserve to win. They're a great team. In my eyes, Luke Donald's the best European Ryder Cup captain of all time.
As Europe built a massive lead, even American fans started joking about the disaster. The momentum wasn't fading anymore. It had completely left the building. Luke Donald looked like he was running a master plan. Bradley looked like he was just trying anything. And the worst part? The guy he relied on most, Scottie, was the one struggling the most. As the sun dropped over Bethpage, a fan yelled, "We still love you, Scottie." But Scottie's expression made it clear. Support doesn't add points to the scoreboard. Moments after the tension hit its peak, the 15th green became the center of a total meltdown. What should have been just another moment in a rough match turned into a spectacle of pressure and frustration. It started with the crowd, loud taunts, sarcastic claps, and beer-charged yelling. Then suddenly, Scottie snapped. Cameras caught him stepping back from the ball, jaw clenched, eyes burning toward the fans. Justin Rose noticed. Tommy Fleetwood smirked. Bryson DeChambeau tried calming him down. Nothing helped. Soon after, fan-shot videos hit the internet. Shaky, raw, unfiltered. One clip showed Scottie saying something under his breath. Another recorded a European caddy muttering what lip readers claimed was, "He's losing it." The broadcast version looked soft compared to what fans were posting. Bradley attempted to downplay it in interviews, saying emotions were high. But the leaked footage exposed a different tone. Shaken, worried. "You could feel it," he whispered. Everything changed on that green. Social media named it the green explosion. Memes went wild. One viral edit compared Scottie's reaction to Kanye's "I'ma let you finish" moment, complete with dramatic music. Another joked it was Caddyshack, Chaos Edition. But hidden under the jokes was something raw. Scottie had always been golf's calm face, steady in storms. Seeing him crack, seeing real emotion, shocked people. The 15th green became the moment the sport's polished image dropped. Etiquette vanished, the mask fell off, and everyone kept watching. After Europe celebrated, champagne blasting under the bright lights of Bethpage, the US locker room felt like a funeral. The confidence and swagger were gone. Players sat quietly, heads down, shadows stretching across the floor like even the walls were ashamed.
It broke my heart not to play. My ultimate goal to start this whole thing was to be the best captain that I could be. And this is how I felt like I could do this. I know 100% for certain that this is the right choice.
Reporters waited outside like mourners, whispering about what went so wrong. Then Keegan Bradley stepped in, eyes swollen, voice shaking, looking like grief in a golf shirt. In the leaked clip that lit up social media, he wasn't giving a standard speech. It sounded like he was delivering goodbye words. Scottie cared more about Russell than himself, he said, fighting to keep his voice steady. He never stopped trying. Right after the clip spread everywhere, what looked noble on paper turned into heartbreak on camera. And the internet didn't slow down for a second. Within minutes, the video was chopped up, captioned, and turned into a wave of memes. One post joked, "Bro is giving a breakup speech, not a press conference." Another sneered, "This isn't leadership, this is group therapy." But under all the jokes, Bradley's emotion hit differently. It wasn't staged, it wasn't PR, it was real and uncomfortable. For once, a golfer wasn't talking like a walking ad or a stat chart. He sounded like a believer watching the thing he loved collapse in front of him. He wasn't crying over a trophy. He was mourning the idea that effort and loyalty can always win. That heart can beat numbers. His breakdown wasn't weakness. It was what it looks like when belief finally shatters. Critics couldn't resist taking shots. "Crying doesn't inspire confidence," one TV host scoffed. "It makes you look lost." But fans, people scrolling late at night, heard something different. They heard honesty. They heard someone finally speaking without a script in a sport that hides every emotion behind polite claps and blank faces. It was uncomfortable, but it was real. By morning, that leaked clip turned Bradley into an unexpected poet. Near the end of the video, voice cracking but eyes steady, he said, "Sometimes you lose beautifully, and that has to count for something." The line exploded everywhere. Lose beautifully. It was printed on shirts, used in TikTok edits, and thrown on ironic merch drops. A sad motto for a team that fell short, and a reminder that even humiliation has its moments of art. When the firestorm refused to die down, when memes turned into slogans and the internet wouldn't let go, Keegan Bradley did what almost no modern athlete dares to do anymore.
In many ways, Keegan's captaincy has been fashioned into a kind of remaking of the American Ryder Cup way. But as he spoke, Keegan said the biggest surprise of the Ryder Cup captaincy was how it had remade him.
It's forced me to open up more.
He dropped the media training. No safe lines, no "we'll bounce back." Just the truth, raw and risky. A few days after the loss, under harsh lights that made the press room feel like an interrogation, Bradley stepped up with heavy shoulders and a voice worn down from sleepless nights. "No one expected this. The blame is mine," he said. The words hit the room like a weight falling from the ceiling. Silence, staring, cameras clicking like shaky heartbeats. He continued, steady but hurting. "I messed up the setup. I forced the pairings. I got the course wrong. It helped them." It wasn't just accepting responsibility. It was like he was opening the body of the defeat and explaining what killed it. Golf, the sport of perfect posture and controlled emotion, suddenly felt like a tragic play. Then came the clip everyone saw. In one uncut moment, Bradley looked straight into the camera. His jaw didn't move, but his eyes held everything. "I definitely messed up the greens," he admitted. "I thought it would help us. It didn't. No spin, no excuses. Just a man standing in the ashes of his own decisions." Half the fan base called it courage. Finally, a captain who bleeds instead of hiding. The other half called it PR, a performance of vulnerability. One critic even wrote, "He's crying on cue." But the noise didn't matter, because for the first time in forever, golf wasn't cold or quiet. It was alive, emotional, chaos worth watching. A columnist joked he was the Captain Ahab of golf, except this time he was apologizing to the whale. And somehow, the nickname stuck. Bradley wasn't just a captain anymore. Bradley's emotional confession might have shocked the world, but what happened after that moment was even more intense. The cameras stopped rolling, the press room emptied, and the internet moved to the next meme. But inside Team USA, the real conflict was only beginning. Rumors started spreading fast. Some players felt Bradley's honesty was admirable and overdue. Others saw it as betrayal. A few believed he threw the team under the bus to protect himself from total blame. Suddenly, the locker room that was supposed to be united by patriotism and pride was split down the middle. Teammates avoided eye contact. Conversations got quieter. Trust collapsed faster than their score did. People behind the scenes whispered the same question over and over. Who leaked that clip? Was it a frustrated player? A staff member trying to expose the truth? Or a deeper conspiracy? Maybe even someone wanting Europe to win? Nobody knew, but everyone suspected someone. And that tension hung in the air long after the competition ended. The PGA couldn't ignore it. They quietly launched a private review into the leak, terrified of what else might be lurking on someone's phone. New security rules were rumored. Team meetings might be monitored differently. People who once felt untouchable were suddenly watching their backs. Because if one video made this kind of chaos, imagine what a second one could do. Sponsors were sweating too. Bradley was now both a marketing risk and a viral goldmine. Brands love a winner, but a dramatic storyline brings clicks. Scottie, meanwhile, was caught in the middle. Companies pressured him to stay silent, smile politely, and pretend the chaos wasn't happening. The more he refused to speak, the more the mystery grew. Was he angry, hurt, or protecting someone? Analysts who once praised Bradley started debating if he should ever lead again. Others argued that his raw honesty was exactly what golf needed. That tension created a new narrative. Modern sports aren't controlled by athletes anymore, they're controlled by the internet. For decades, golf lived safely behind etiquette, PR statements, and polished post-game interviews. But that leaked clip destroyed the shield. The audience now demanded what they saw that day. Real emotion, real conversations, real drama. Bradley and Scheffler were no longer just a captain and a star player. They were characters in a story bigger than a tournament loss. A story the PGA couldn't control. A story that fans refused to let die. And as the whispers grew louder, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a meltdown. This was the moment golf learned the world would rather watch chaos than perfection. And that shift would change everything going forward. A perfect setup for the final truth this scandal exposed. Because this wasn't just a Ryder Cup meltdown. This was the moment golf realized it couldn't hide behind tradition anymore. For decades, the sport has lived in a controlled bubble, polite press conferences, vague statements, and everyone pretending emotions don't exist. But one leaked clip shattered that illusion forever. Suddenly, fans didn't want scorecards and perfect quotes. They wanted the truth, the panic, the pressure, the breakdown happening behind closed doors. The PGA tried slowing the firestorm down, but every attempt only made the flames rise higher. Every new statement looked scripted. Every denial felt like damage control. Meanwhile, fans replayed the leak like it was a blockbuster trailer. And influencers who never cared about golf before were suddenly uploading reaction videos, telling millions of new viewers that golf actually had drama worth watching. Sponsors scrambled too. They love a clean star, not a captain in tears, and a world #1 cracking under pressure. Behind the scenes, lawyers and PR teams argued about who was to blame, who should talk, who must stay silent. Some wanted punishment for the leak. Others wanted to market the storyline. Golf wasn't a game anymore, it was content. What really terrified everyone wasn't the clip itself, it was the idea that more could exist. More emotional moments recorded on phones, more outbursts ready to hit the internet, more secrets that could rewrite reputations overnight. One insider reportedly said, "Players are more afraid of cameras than losing now." That fear alone shows how deeply the culture shifted. Reporters started digging. Rumors spread that this wasn't the only heated moment in the team room. Fans demanded transparency. They wanted names. They wanted motives. They wanted to know who really caused the collapse. Was Bradley too emotional to lead? Was Scheffler silently fuming? Was someone inside the team trying to expose everything? And through all the chaos, one question refused to disappear. Is this the future of golf? A future where reality TV intensity replaces quiet respect, where fans cheer for breakdowns the same way they cheer for birdies, where what happens backstage matters more than what happens on the course. This wasn't just a scandal, it was a turning point. Because the world didn't fall in love with perfect swings that week. It fell in love with the messy truth golf tried to bury. And that discovery is exactly what makes the conclusion of this saga so unsettling. Bradley wasn't just a captain anymore. He became the heart of a story no one could stop talking about. Even Scottie Scheffler, silent through the chaos, reportedly messaged him privately, "You did what you believed was right. Nobody can ask for more." That wasn't just reassurance. It showed this wasn't a story about sports tactics. It was about impossible expectations in a game built on mistakes. But the leak never faded. What should have been a forgettable bad week turned into a digital legend. Memes, edits, debates, the clip forced golf to show real emotion for the first time. And people noticed. Some mocked Bradley for crying. Others praised him for finally being human. Either way, he stayed in the spotlight, tied forever to the phrase, "lose beautifully." Scheffler took the opposite path, winning quietly, dodging microphones, and every silence created new whispers. Was he embarrassed? Or was he protecting Bradley? Nobody knows, and that mystery keeps fans coming back. The PGA tried to bury the scandal with polished statements, but the public already understood the truth. This wasn't about strategy or greens, it was about seeing behind the mask. It was about realizing the calmest sport on earth can crack under pressure like anything else. One viral comment said it best, golf finally had its reality TV moment, and honestly, it needed it. Maybe that's what we'll remember from 2025. Not Europe's trophy, not Scheffler's slump, but the day golf admitted it wasn't perfect. The day a captain cried, the day a superstar looked lost, the moment fans realized that behind every perfect swing, there's a heart that can break too. Golf didn't fail that weekend, it felt. And in the internet age, that's what makes a story live forever.